With much of the world's attention focused on Syria's civil war, a Middle East milestone. 20 years ago, Israel and the Palestinians signed the Oslo Peace Accord. It seemed at the time as if the long-sought two-state solution, an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel, was within reach. 2 decades on, the Oslo Accords are in tatters. Low-level talks between have resumed, but on both sides there is little optimism. ABC correspondent Norman Hamont reports from Jerusalem.
This was supposed to be the beginning of the end, the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. A handshake to seal the peace accords reached in Oslo. In the years since, the Israeli prime minister who signed on was assassinated. Palestinians revolted. Israel endured wave after wave of terrifying bombings. And now, a wall dividing Palestinians and Israelis is a blunt reminder of how far the dreams of Oslo have faded. 20 years ago, Yossi Beilin was leading Israel's negotiators. What no one foresaw, he says, is how desperately elements on both sides wanted the deal to die.
We did not take into account enough the strength of adamant minorities who were ready to do whatever possible to kill the prime minister, to kill innocent people, only in order to prevent a permanent agreement.
Oslo, as it's simply known, did not go quietly. Israel pulled out of the Palestinian Gaza Strip in 2005. And on nearly 40% of the West Bank, Palestinian Authority rule has the look of sovereignty. But it's deceptive. The Palestinian leadership is now split, with Hamas ruling Gaza. And in the West Bank, Israeli settlement construction has rolled on nearly unchecked. Longtime Palestinian negotiator Rassan Hatib says as the national hopes of ending the Israeli occupation and achieving independence wither, the government's credibility sinks lower and lower.
After 20 years of peacemaking attempts, settlements have doubled. The distance to these legitimate objectives seems to be even longer, farther. That's why the Palestinian leadership seems to be less and less convincing to its people and consequently less and less legitimate.
And you don't have to look hard to find Palestinians who believe Oslo has actually been a step back.
We don't see anything good in this thing. So as Palestinians, we don't see that Oslo agreement is a good thing. It's becoming worse, actually.
It's so bad, says this Palestinian journalist, that after years of failed roadmaps, plans, and rounds of dead-end meetings, few readers even want to know.
It's becoming boring. That's why if you go to the street or if you talk to the people and tell them that both sides had met today, they'll tell you, no, it's so what?
The Oslo Accords were supposed to put Israel and the Palestinians on the pathway to resolving the most bitter divisions between them. Who will control the holy sites of Jerusalem? And will this city again be divided? And will Palestinians who left or fled Israel be allowed to return? 20 years on, the gaps on those issues remain as wide as ever. After nearly 3 years and plenty of prodding from the U.S., talks between Israel and the Palestinians have started again. Optimists are thin on the ground, and many, like Dani Dayan, longtime stalwart of the Israeli settler movement, believe the ultimate objective of negotiations has to change.
Oslo and the offsprings of Oslo prevent us from taking more innovative thinking. They freeze our thinking in the conventional pattern of two-state formula, and that will not happen.
That's one thing many Israelis and Palestinians agree on. With every new settlement in the West Bank, the prospects for a two-state solution grow dimmer.
We are moving in a de facto way as a result of the Israeli practices and lack of progress towards two states. We are drifting towards one-state reality.
In fact, some Israelis say the best way forward for the Palestinians now may be to call the Israeli hardliners bluff. Give up the dream of statehood and send Israel a simple message.
We only want one thing. One person, one vote. That's it. That's it. We are going to be the loyal citizens of Israel, if you wish to absorb us. And it will be very difficult for the world to say, no, 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 you don't deserve it.
But in one shared Israeli state, where Palestinians are full citizens, Jews could soon become a minority, counter to the very core of Zionism. For a democratic Jewish Israel to live, an independent Palestinian state may have to live too. Norman Hermont, Late Line.